Good morning, Fight fans, Fight Bananas fam. What's up, Elle?
What's up? What's up, guys?
Good morning.
Morning.
This is exciting. Welcome to our brand new show. We're going to call it Mornings with Maddie and Elle. And we're trying something new, and we hope you all love it because we're very excited about it. Basically, every Sunday, you guys are going to have a cup of coffee with us. I have my stuff ready to go.
Same.
Elle, I know you do too. We're going to make our cups of coffee. We're going to talk MMA. We're going to talk life. We're just going to get ready for the day together. You know, it's our last day of the weekend. It's going to be a good day. It's very gloomy and rainy on the in New England right now. How about you?
Very hot. And
Very
I
hot and sunny.
outside and I can look outside and I can tell you that I'm going to start sweating as soon as
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those days. Yeah, it's disgusting over here. So we're going to make it a little more sunny inside. Elle, what are you sipping on this morning?
I got my espresso. I'm about to put my collagen in it.
Okay, you go first and then I'll go.
Okay. This is my
collagen. What's the deal with collagen?
So I like this one. It's like a multi-source collagen. So it's a few different kinds of collagen because there's like some collagen that's good for your hair and your skin and your nails. And then there's some collagen that's good for your joints, which I actually was reading on this. So I'll nerd. I like to read research studies randomly in my spare time because that's normal. But there was a study that they showed certain types of collagen, and one of those types is in here, actually showed much faster recovery after ACL surgeries. So hence why I need this. So and I think I like it better than like the regular protein in my coffee. I just feel like it tastes better. So
probably.
And I have my frothy milk because I'm bougie.
Oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. Kind of, sort of. So I have one of those, and I have no idea how to use it. So I gotta figure it out.
I only use this setting, so that's all I can tell you.
All right. So we're kind of winging it this morning. I ran out of my usual stuff, so we're gonna like get a little creative. I use this almond creamer in my coffee, so we're gonna try and froth it and see what happens.
Oh.
Do a little bit here. Okay. This is where I feel like a really cool barista. Here we go.
A little fancy glass cup. I need one of those.
Oh, it is frothing, baby. Oh, we frothy today. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay. This is good. Oh, this is good. This is real good. Okay.
Oh, dang. Like,
so we're going to throw in my double shot of espresso because that's what I do. Then we're going to throw this bad boy in. Oh, this is going to be solid.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's like a cold foam, like the Starbucks cold foams.
I'm so happy with this. I do need to try
pretty that looks.
Honey.
See, you went cool with the mason jar.
The aesthetic, baby. The aesthetic.
It's honestly not. But
all right. Cheers. Let's see how we did. That was all foam, but it was delicious. All right. Good morning, everybody. We are officially ready to go. We got our cups of coffee. A lot of stuff to talk about. How was UFC Fight Night last night?
Oh, it was good, man. I will say I am disappointed in the ending of the main event. I would have liked to see that go longer. I very rarely do I disagree with Jason Herzog. I think he's a absolutely phenomenal ref. I think he's one of the best in the business. I did not like that stoppage.
So it was a controversial stoppage.
Yeah, I felt like Cannonier was like it was a super close fight. So it's like it's already tough that it's not like it could have been anybody's fight had it continued to progress. Cannonier was in some trouble. I will absolutely agree with that. But he was still moving well. He was still moving his feet. He would get hit and then he would like move, and then he'd throw back and then he'd get hit again. And he was definitely hurt. I'm not going to argue with that. But man, he looked like he was still intelligently defending himself.
Yeah.
And he was still throwing back. So I feel like you at least have to let it go a little bit longer. I'm not saying that the result would have been different, but I think there would be no question marks if he had let, a few more strikes go. Cannonier seemed absolutely fine after the stoppage. Like he didn't look out of it. I don't think he was in danger of being like super hurt. So I was a little disappointed to see that because it was such a good fight, What's up,
yeah. Yeah. I told him to stay in the bedroom. Notice how he doesn't listen. That's okay. That's all right.
But it was a good fight night.
I hate it so much.
Um,
But yeah, like stoppages are just like, it's such an awkward thing. And like those are moments where it's like, okay, I'm so grateful I am not a ref to have to make that decision. Some are so clean cut, you're like, oh my God, yes, this fight is over. But sometimes it's just like one little look that they might have seen that the fighter did or like anything like that. And it's like they jump right in. But hopefully Cannonier comes back stronger than ever because it sounds like it didn't really affect him much. But yeah.
Well, and it's a bummer because the only dude to ever finish Jared Cannonier, or there's two guys to finish Jared Cannonier. One is Dominic Reyes, and one was a heavyweight, Sean Jordan. He's never been finished at middleweight before, and I feel like that statistic should still be there. Like I felt like he was all right. So, but I was stoked to see Dominic Reyes get a win after a 4-fight losing streak, and a good win too. Dustin Jacoby is a fantastic striker. So a really solid win for a guy that we saw absolute greatness from, and then just like has been in a slump, I mean, he's such a likable guy. I definitely will die on the hill that he beat John Jones in that fight. I will die on that hill. So to see him come back and get a big first round finish over a guy like Jacoby, like that was really great to see. There were a lot of really good fights.
I keep seeing the spinning elbow all over my feed. So to be clear, I love watching fight nights, but last night was a very important night. I have a good friend who's moving to Florida. I think I told you about this. This is actually her second going away party, but we had a great going away party for her. We actually were doing karaoke all night long. Just
I support that.
Thank your lucky stars you were not in the building to hear the lovely rendition of My Boo between me and Ross. Usher, not Usher. Is it Usher? No.
Is there video footage of that?
Usher and Alicia Keys, My Boo. There is, if you follow me on Instagram at Maddie on Air. Maddie, how many likes do I need to get a date? -37. Thank you for the support. And you also have to go one round with
how many
hello.
Make me go viral and then we'll talk about it. And then of course, our number one fan. Good morning, Dad. Thank you for joining. Joe Grimaldi in the house, everybody. Love
What's
it.
up, Joe?
But yeah, the spinning back fist or the spinning back elbow. Whew. Have you ever been hit by one of those?
No.
Yeah.
I think you got to be a pretty explosive athlete to really land that. And Bruno Ferreira certainly is. Like he was losing that fight too. Like Dustin Stolfus was absolutely winning that fight.
You know what? I'm so happy you said that because 9 times out of 10, when somebody pulls out a spinning whatever, it's because they're losing. So just keep that in mind.
Yair Rodriguez Korean zombie fight is like the prime example. Like losing every minute of the fight, last second.
Boom. Yep. Listen, it's effective, but like, come on, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
Lots of finishes though.
Was there?
Bruno Ferreira, Zachary Reese, Soriano, no finish, but really fun fight. Even though it was super grappling heavy, which is honestly not super common for Soriano. He's kind of like a let me bang bro guy. But it's still fun to watch. Like lots of scrambles. He was doing a lot of damage. Very, very one-sided. Man, it was actually like Carlos Prates knocked out Charles Radke. Awesome finish.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it today.
You really need to
because I'm getting FOMO right now. But go get him, Elle. What is this about? Stolfus was winning. Come on.
Stolfus was absolutely winning, Joe. He was wrestling him. He was winning until the last like 45 second to 1 minute exchange. But like he was absolutely winning. Joe, get out of here.
I love it.
I know Joe bet on Ferreira, so
that's probably what it was. Yeah.
That was the problem.
Elle, favorite moment of the night before we move on of the fight night?
It's gotta be Reyes getting that big win. Man, it's just so good to see him come back. I've always been a fan of him, and I hope he rides the momentum. I think Jacoby is a great win, but I don't know if it is. I don't know what he's gonna look like.
What's next?
It's like top handful of guys at 205 because there's some power, there's some big heavy hitters up there.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if he can like put it back together, make another run. Maybe we see him versus Pereira in, 8, 9 months. I wouldn't be mad to see him make another title run by any means.
That's awesome. So last night, if you stayed up late enough, right? It was on at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not watch.
Ryzen had a really great show. But the biggest one that we want to talk about, Kyoji Horiguchi defeating Sergio Pettis in their second meeting and in dominant fashion. So very exciting. Kyoji is ATT, right?
Yeah. I love Kyoji. He's a really, really funny dude.
So, okay, perfect example, right? So I was at their first fight at Bellator. They fought in Connecticut, and it was, pure domination from Kyoji over Sergio for, I think the spinning back fist was the 5th round. Over four. Oh, it was in the 4th round. So the first the first 3.5 rounds or whatever it was, pure domination from Kyoji, and then Sergio just pulls this out of nowhere. And I will say it was insane. Like, the place erupted. Ross was with me. He got like the viral clip that we got. Everybody was using it. But yeah, it was a wild atmosphere. But that proves our point about the spinning back fists.
And this is a funny one too. This is a funny one because I've heard this from multiple people, but like Kyoji was wrestling. Like he was out wrestling Sergio Pettis everywhere. He was controlling him and he was getting booed.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided to stand him up. He made the decision to let Sergio up.
Yeah.
And I feel like it doesn't matter. Ignore the crowds, guys. Let them boo.
That's hard.
Get your win, that's tough. And obviously anything can happen for sure. But man, I love to see Kyoji get this one back. I think he is probably the best guy in the world that's not in the UFC.
Yeah, what is that about?
I don't know, man. It's wild. Like the guys he's beat, Darian Caldwell, he knocked out Kai Asakura, who was the Ryzen champ, who the UFC just signed.
Yeah, his resume is insane.
And he's so many finishes too. He submitted Manel Kopp in Ryzen. So Manel Kopp is like, if he beats oh my gosh, who's he fighting next? Muhammad Makayev. If he beats Makayev, he gets the next title shot.
Right. Like, and you have Kyoji over here like, hey. So is it true that he's willing to fight his teammate, Pantoja?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Not something
I saw an article.
I've heard him say, so.
My husband is being so loud right now.
The side eye is so hard.
I can't stand him. I go, stay upstairs. He goes, no.
Like, maybe you still have a chance, Alex.
Okay. Yeah. You should see the face he just gave you. Oh my god.
Love your ass.
That's so funny. Man, what was I asking? Damn.
If Kyoji would fight Pantoja. You said he said something in an interview.
So I saw an article recently that he welcomes the idea. And I thought that was interesting because a lot of people over at ATT, your husband included, it's like, okay, if anybody, I will fight anybody that's not from ATT, basically, right. So do you think it's one of those things where it's just like he's running out of options?
No, I think it's because it's a belt. And I think Grant's like, I would fight a teammate for the belt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fight him, a teammate outside the rankings, top, like not even top 5. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And also, especially, Grant's also in a division where you don't have to fight your teammates because there's a million lightweights.
Yeah.
Flyweight is, as we've seen from Pantoja, flyweight's kind of shallow. Pantoja has beaten all the flyweights. Like, who's next? Like, besides Manel Kopp and Makayev are pretty much the only guys anywhere close to a number 1 spot that he hasn't already beaten, which is just nuts. Like, of course, I don't want to see either Kyoji or Pantoja lose, but I would love to see that fight. That would be incredible because I do genuinely believe that they're probably the 2 best flyweights in the world. Right. Like, they're both so good. And I get to see them train together and they have different strengths and different like skill sets, But they're both incredible and they're both super well-rounded guys. So I just think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen at ATT before. I think they do a really good job of it. It's such a big facility. It's pretty easy to, it's like, oh, okay, you're going to train in the morning. I'm going to train in the afternoon. You're going to train with this coach. I'm going to train with this coach. And I think that they've been training together so long. I feel like they could be pretty amicable about it, you know? And
Yeah. And like still be competitive and still, yeah.
oh, I think it would be super.
Would that be a first? That's gotta be, that would have to be a first, right? Same team versus like team versus team.
For a belt?
Yeah. Or just in general. No?
I mean, no, ATT guys have fought each other before.
Okay.
Andre Arlovsky fought, was it Pazal? He fought one of the other heavyweights at the gym.
Okay. But maybe is it a first for
Arman fought Neto. Arman was set to fight Moicano. But he doesn't. Arman, I feel like he almost wants to fight his teammates at this point. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing on Twitter, but he was set to fight Moicano. It's happened a couple of other times too. Oh, right now, Cody Durden is set to fight Bruno Silva. That's a flyweight match.
Oh, okay.
That's two really good flyweights as well.
Yeah.
You know, and they've been training together. And then
that's so
got offered, and they were already had been doing rounds together, and they're like, well, okay, I guess so.
My brain just can't. I don't know. My brain can't comprehend that. I don't know if I could do it. I
think some guys can't. For some guys, it's just business. It's not personal, and it's just they're just oh, we're just fighting. It's just if we were doing rounds.
We're both getting paid, and may the best man win.
For some people, I think it's a little more emotional. I think for Grant, it's a little more emotional. I think he's I know how much it sucks to lose and get half a paycheck. I don't want to be the reason that happens to somebody I care about.
Right.
Which, it's hard. Losing sucks.
It really does. But if you get a paycheck, it's a little better, just in general. You're both
That's true.
So you might as well. Okay, so guys, I think it's actually happening. I think Chandler versus McGregor may actually be.
I will believe it when the cage door closes, Maddie.
Okay, so you're still nope, not. So okay, so I'm trying to, in my mind, keep up with the timeline of the insanity that it has been. So Michael Chandler comes out, gives a massive update on their fight, being like, listen, I know that there's a lot of speculation, but the fight is on. It is happening. Then you have McGregor, who is sharing photos in a hospital, promoting his 4 Gyra Stout and his whiskey. Then finally sharing some footage of him working out in the cage. Who knows when that was or if it's even legit. And then you have the UFC finally releasing the trailer for UFC 303. So there's a lot of fuckery going on. There's literally no other way to describe it. Either McGregor is just messing with all of us.
He might be. I could see that.
And yeah, but if Chandler, I don't think Chandler would come out and say, yes, the fight is on, unless he knew something. I feel like he would be
unless he,
or maybe he's a manifester. Maybe he's trying to manifest the reality of it. But you're saying no. You're saying I'm not sure.
I have such a hard time with McGregor right now. We've seen he was out of the testing pool. He was supposed to be back in the testing pool. He wasn't back in the testing pool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. There's 2 scenarios I wouldn't be surprised by. One is that we get really close to the fight and then it doesn't happen, which I think would be absolutely horrible for this card. I think this card needs that fight.
Oh, 1,000%.
This is not my favorite international fight week card that I've ever seen.
1,000%.
This fight needs to be on that card. And I think they might be in the event that Sven's saying if the fight was off, it would have definitely been announced by now. I actually disagree. I think if the fight was off, they would want to make sure that they have a really solid replacement that is equally as exciting and able to sell before this happens, I agree with you, Joe. I think that they will do anything to make this happen. Mm-hmm. I think this is simply on McGregor.
Yeah.
I feel like he's such a wild card at this point. I would think he would fight. And I could also see him like almost pulling out and the UFC just like offering him an exorbitant amount of money. I
Right.
can also see that happening. But I think the more likely scenario in this is the fight happens, and then 2 weeks after the fight, we find out that McGregor has failed a drug test.
Or something. Yeah. Well,
That
like,
to me is the most likely scenario here, but they would make sure that came out after the fight.
I'm trying to decide if, I mean, this has never happened where a presser was canceled. Like, I don't remember
So weird.
in modern UFC history where the day of it gets canceled, like hours before. So I'm trying to decide, do we think it was legal stuff going on and Connor got in trouble somehow? Or was it health related where he's still dealing with an injury and didn't want to, but if it was an injury, there's ways to hide it. You know what I mean?
Depends on what the injury is.
Yeah, I
He's
guess so. Like,
injured,
yeah,
like
I
he's
know.
limping, like, I and here's the thing with the legal stuff. I feel like unless everything happened behind closed doors, that would be really hard to hide too. Like
Mm.
he's so in the public eye that I feel like it would be really hard for something to not have come out if there was like
Mm.
a legal issue. Like think
Yeah,
about
no, that's for yeah.
find out about that.
There's paperwork, there's paper trail for sure.
Right, yeah, if he
Yeah,
got arrested, we would
yeah,
for sure know, like, if there was a
yeah.
public record of
TMZ would be like,
oh,
boom.
yeah, it'd be everywhere, it'd be
So
everywhere right
that's a good point. So it's like, I mean, all signs point to health related then, right? Because why else are you going to cancel it? Like,
or he's just being really difficult to deal
to
with.
work
Maybe
with,
he just
yeah,
went out and partied so hard, he was freaking, like,
hung over his
coked out of
shit
his
or
mind, and
whatever. Yeah,
they're like, "Well, there's no freaking way we could do a
yeah.
presser with this guy."
Oh my
Maybe he didn't show
god.
up, like, it's not the first time he hasn't shown up.
Oh, the
Do you remember
drama, the
do you remember those
drama.
Tommy Toehold videos where
Which
he
one?
would, like the Tommy Toehold guy where he would, like, do voiceovers? And it
Oh, I
was,
don't
like,
know.
right after McGregor missed the press conference, and he's like, "If Conor McGregor isn't here in 45 minutes," he, like, pretending to be Dana White, he's like, "I
Yeah.
will suspend Santiago Ponzinibbio."
Oh yeah.
You remember that guy? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
he's done stuff like this before
He's
where
come.
he
He's
doesn't
shown
know.
up late to fight night.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this is probably just a Conor
Connor thing,
behavioral issue.
which makes me like even more concerned for. I mean, he's kind of tarnishing his legacy at this point, and if he's truly going to fight, someone like Michael Chandler is so dialed in, and he's been dialed in forever. Like, why even fight at this point? Like, if you're not into it,
I think he's bored.
yeah,
Genuinely, because he doesn't need the money. He
no,
doesn't need the fame. I
yeah.
think he's just bored.
Yeah, I think I like to think that there is still a little piece of the old Connor that we knew and loved that has that competitive need, that desire, that love for MMA, the love for Ireland, all this stuff. I think he's still in there. He's just a little jaded at this point with all the money and the fame, and it's
I think this is a fight he can still win. Even
yeah.
if he is coked out of his mind every day.
That is
like
that's that's the crazy part, man.
especially at 170, like he's going to carry so much power, and the likeliness that he was probably on PEDs for a substantial amount of his time out of the testing pool, that shit doesn't go away. Like
No.
studies where you see benefits up to like 7 years after stopping, stuff like that.
Yeah, Mystic
So,
Mac coming in as Muscle Mac. Who
yeah,
knows?
who knows? Like, well, I gotta respond to Jeff here. He said, "Why would you want to fight against bananas?" No, Jeff, we're bananas about fights.
Yes.
Bananas
Yes.
about fights.
I wasn't understanding that comment. I was like, this grammatically does not make sense.
Like,
And now I get what he's saying.
We
We're
love
bananas about fights. Duh. But yeah, all right. So I like to think it's gonna happen. Fingers crossed. You are gonna wait for the cage door to close.
I think it probably will, but I'm pretty sure Joe, if he's still on, I saw him say in our like little MMA group chat the other day, like, I'll believe it when the cage door closes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with Joe there.
1000%.
I'm not getting my hopes up until I see Conor walk to the cage.
1000%. Absolutely. I gotta know, have you been seeing the videos of this 2 versus 1 MMA experience?
Eddie freaking Hall.
Eddie freaking Hall, former world's strongest man, knocking out not one, but two of his opponents.
Knocking out is a nice way of saying that. He literally picked a dude up and threw him at the other guy. He hit one guy with another guy.
Oh my God.
It was awesome.
I wish I had the video queued up. Let's see if I can find it.
Try and find it while I like recreate this scene for everyone.
Yeah.
So, and Grant and I were talking about it too. And he's like, there's a point where skill doesn't matter anymore. Like if you're big enough, there's a point where you're just big enough to kick anybody's ass. And Eddie Hall is probably there. Like obviously, like maybe a really elite heavyweight, but he's so big. Like the dude's massive. Like 400 pounds, and he's so strong. And imagine if you just taught those guys how to throw one decent punch. It wouldn't even have to be perfect to knock people stupid.
Oh my God. Okay, I got it. I got it. Here we go. So let me see. Let me make sure I can share my screen here. All right. Technology. Present, I think. Buttons. But yeah, I just can't believe that this is legal, that this is a thing.
This isn't happening in the US, right?
I really hope not. Can you see this? Perfect. All right. Ready?
Oh
my God. Let's see that one more time.
Like you see videos. You see videos of like dads throwing their toddlers like that onto like the bed. Like he threw him like a child. And those are grown men. Full-sized men. They look like children.
Wild. Okay, so now I understand why people are watching that, because that was entertaining as fuck.
It's awesome.
That was so crazy.
This is the only like social media influencer fights I want to see.
I'm here for this. I am so here for this. So the original one I saw, though, it was like two petite women fighting against this like sumo guy.
I've seen that one.
And I'm like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? But like that one was fantastic. That one was fantastic.
I want to see Eddie Hall. Like, I want to see them add people. I want to see how many grown men Eddie Hall can beat up. Like, can we do a team of 5?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, he got 2. 2 was easy work. Let's add it to 3.
We have to go 3.
Let's go. Let's see what we do. Hypothetically, if you were to do 2 versus 1 MMA, let's put ourselves on the 2 team. Okay. Who are you choosing as your partner to ensure that you win? And you're going up against Amanda Nunes. We're going up against Amanda Nunes, and you can pick anybody.
Okay, I'll pick Grant.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna increase my odds. I will say this. So this was a long time ago, and I kind of wish I had this video. I'm sure we could find it. But years and years ago, Laura Senko and I were sitting at Glory, and we were talking smack to Grant about how if we rolled with him at the same time, we would be able to beat him. We were wrong. And it is unbelievably difficult to try to grapple the same person at the same time. Like there was a point where we both tried to take his back at the same time, and we like bounced off of each other.
Yeah, that sounds
We didn't have a good game plan going into this, but then we also knew like as soon as Grant got like subbed one of us, it's over for the other one, obviously.
Right.
We were 105-pound women.
Right.
But like, it was actually really funny and really fun. The comment section, kind of disgusting. But the video,
I was going to say, yeah. I was going to say, I would love to see the video, but then people are gross and weird.
Do yourself a favor and don't open the comments. But it was actually a lot of fun. And there's a point where like, I think he got Laura first, and she's like getting subs, and she's yelling, "I'm sorry" to me.
That's fantastic.
It's more difficult than you would think to be like team fighting, because it's like, how do you coordinate that? You get in each other's way. Like,
I feel like I would knock out my teammate by accident, like doing some stupid shit. You know, it's like, my God, I'm gonna have to watch that though. I have a feeling it's like a Russian thing. I think it's in Russia.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very interesting Russian combat.
I'm not really trying to go to Russia, but anyway, this was fun, Elle. This was a good time, and I look forward to doing this every Sunday.
Yes.
If you enjoyed it, cheers. Hopefully you enjoyed your cup of coffee with us this morning.
Thanks, guys.
Every Sunday we're going to do this mornings with Maddie and Elle. We're going to talk about MMA stuff, life stuff, ask us
Random
questions,
news.
random stuff. 2 versus 1, baby. Let's go. Piper wants to say hi. Let's see if we can get her in here.
Hello.
She's just definitely.
I'm going to pick up my puppy today, Maddie.
Nice.
And
Wait,
so
a new puppy. Did I know this?
I don't know if I told you guys.
You're getting a puppy today.
We're getting a puppy today.
Pictures immediately, please.
Yes, we will.
What kind of puppy?
He will be on the show on Tuesday. He's a little pipple. But for those of you who don't know, we lost our puppy Echo a couple months ago, and our other dog is super, super lonely. So we caved and I
love it. I love everything about this. I love it. I love it. Go get your puppy dog. Send pictures, please. And thank you for everybody for tuning in. We'll see you on Tuesday for our usual Fight Banana show. We got a pretty sick lineup for you. Then you got Betting Bananas Wednesday, and we'll be back at it next Sunday. So as always, thank you for your support. Have a great Sunday. We love you all.